Keanu Reeves, billionaire actor, motorcycle enthusiast, and famously humble Hollywood legend, had a secret. He owned a small, unassuming diner in downtown Los Angeles, a place he poured his heart into. But today? Today, he wasn't here as the owner. No, today, he was just another customer. Undercover. Incognito. Why? Because Keanu wanted the truth. He wanted to know, what did people really think of his diner? Was it living up to his vision? Or was it just another overhyped celebrity venture? With a deep breath, he pushed open the door, the bell jingling softly. The smell of sizzling bacon and fresh coffee filled the air. No one recognized him. No one even glanced his way. Perfect. He adjusted his sunglasses and stepped inside, ready to observe. Little did he know, what he was about to hear would shake him to his core. Keanu approached the counter, keeping his head down. He scanned the menu, a selection of artisanal sandwiches, each named after his favorite films. The John Wick Whammy, Spicy Chicken, The Matrix Melt, Double Cheeseburger, and his personal favorite, the Reeves Special, Avocado, Turkey, and Cranberry. He cleared his throat. "I'll take the Reeves Special, please," he said, keeping his voice low. The cashier, a young woman with a nose ring, barely looked up as she tapped his order into the system. "Name for the order?" she asked, sounding tired. John," Keanu replied, almost smiling at the irony. As he waited, he noticed the two cashiers whispering to each other, their voices hushed but urgent. One of them glanced around nervously before muttering something under her breath. Keanu's smile faded. What were they talking about? His diner? The food? Or him? Keanu strained to listen. The first cashier, let's call her Jess, leaned in and whispered, "I heard the owner never eats here. Probably thinks he's too good for his own food." The other cashier, Mike, snorted. "Yeah, typical rich guy. Opens a place for clout, then ghosts." Keanu's stomach dropped. They thought he didn't care? That this was just some vanity project? The truth was, he loved this diner. He'd handpicked every recipe, taste-tested every sandwich. But now, standing here in disguise, he realized something terrible. His own employees had no idea how much this meant to him. Worse, they resented him for it. His hands clenched. Should he say something? Reveal himself? Or keep listening? Because what if this was just the beginning? What if the problems ran deeper? 2 years earlier, Keanu had sketched the first designs for this diner on a napkin. It wasn't about money, it was about creating a space where people felt seen. Where a single mom could get a warm meal without judgment, where a lonely old man could chat with the staff like family. He'd lost so much in his life, his sister, his best friend, and this diner? It was his way of giving back. Of making sure no one felt alone. But now, hearing his own staff dismiss it as just another celebrity gimmick? It cut deeper than any bad review ever could. He blinked hard, pushing back the sting in his eyes. No. He wouldn't walk away. If there was a problem, he'd fix it. Even if it meant working the grill himself. Keanu picked at his sandwich, his appetite gone. The cashier's words replayed in his mind. Typical rich guy. Too good for his own food. Was that really how they saw him? He thought about walking up and saying, "Hey, it's me, I do care." But then, he hesitated. What if they just apologized because he was the boss? What if they didn't mean it? No, he needed the real truth. Which meant staying undercover a little longer. He took a slow breath. Time to investigate. Starting with the kitchen. Keanu slipped into the kitchen, his heart pounding. What he saw made his blood run cold. The head chef was scrolling on his phone instead of cooking. A stack of orders sat untouched. And worst of all, they were using pre-packaged ingredients, something Keanu had explicitly banned. His diner was supposed to be fresh, homemade, full of love. But this? This was a slapdash operation. No wonder customers weren't returning. No wonder his staff thought he didn't care. His fists tightened. This wasn't just a misunderstanding, this was a failure. And it was his job to fix it. Keanu walked back to the counter, his pulse roaring in his ears. The two cashiers were still chatting, oblivious. Then, he cleared his throat. They turned. And in one smooth motion, he removed his sunglasses. The color drained from their faces. Jess. Mike, he said calmly. I do eat here. The entire diner fell silent. A fork clattered to the floor. Mike's mouth hung open. Jess looked like she might faint. In fact, Keanu continued, I care more about this place than you could possibly know. So why don't we have a real talk? An hour later, the entire staff sat around a table, fidgeting. Keanu didn't yell. He didn't fire anyone. Instead, he asked one simple question, what went wrong? At first, silence. Then, slowly, the truth came out. The head chef admitted he'd cut corners to save time. The cashiers said they felt invisible, like the owner didn't care. And worst of all, they assumed Keanu was just another out-of-touch celebrity. His chest ached. This was his fault. He'd been so focused on the idea of the diner, he forgot the people running it. I'm sorry, he said finally. But starting today? We fix this. Together. 1 month later, the diner was unrecognizable. Keanu worked shifts, grilling, washing dishes, even bussing tables. The staff, inspired, stepped up too. Fresh ingredients returned. The Reeves special became the hottest item in town. And the best part? The cashiers, Jess and Mike, were now his biggest supporters. Turns out, Jess told a reporter, he's the most down-to-earth boss ever. Customers raved online, this place has soul now. And Keanu? He finally felt like his dream was real. As the sun set over the diner, Keanu looked around at his team, his family, and smiled. This wasn't just about sandwiches anymore. It was about trust. About showing up. About proving that even a Hollywood legend could be human. And as he waved goodbye to the last customer, one thought echoed in his mind, sometimes, you have to go undercover to find the truth. But the real magic happens when you stay. What would you do if you overheard employees talking about you? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more jaw-dropping undercover stories.